naman nating lahat that Vivo announced 3 new smartphones on their V series lineup. We have the Vivo V25e, the Vivo V25 5G, and of course the Vivo V25 Pro 5G na pag-uusapan natin dito sa video natin ngayon. There are two main reasons kung bakit ako excited sa video natin. Unang-una, Vivo rarely release their Pro models here in the Philippines. And now that we finally have one, medyo marami akong expectations. And pangalawa, syempre naman yung camera performance niya. Lalong-lalo na that Vivo consider this phone as a night portrait master. Hey everyone! It's your tech girl Mary and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Yes, maiba naman na Vivo V25 Pro ang napili kong pag-usapan doon sa tatlong smartphones na nilabas ng Vivo. Just a quick background, yung predecessor nito which is the Vivo V23 was launched earlier this year. And now, in less than a year, they released their V25 series. The Vivo V25e is priced at 17,999 pesos. And then, yung Vivo V25 5G naman is priced at 23,999 pesos. And lastly, we have the Vivo V25 Pro na priced at 29,999 pesos. And to get things started, let's now quickly unbox the Vivo V25 Pro. Katulad ng dalawang smartphones ng V-series, color gray din yung kulay ng packaging ng V25 Pro 5G. And opening it, bubungad sa atin agad yung smartphone na pag-uusapan natin ngayon in surfing blue, but also available in Starlight Black. And as you can see, what I got is in 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of internal storage. Aside from this, we also got a clear jelly case, paperwork, the charging brick. We also got earphones na merong 3.5mm audio jack. We also got a USB-C to USB Type-A charging cable. And surprisingly, we also got here a dongle. And lastly, of course, ang ating panundot, the SIM ejector tool. I know the surfing blue is a breath of fresh air. The color really reminds me of summer, guys, kahit na October pa lang. But then, I can't help na talaga namang ma-attract doon sa kulay na meron tayo dito sa Vivo V25 5G. I know this is not the topic of our video, pero gusto ko lang ipakita yung ganda ng smartphone na to. It has a color-changing design as well, and it really stands out from the crowd. It also has a back-sear design compared to the Vivo V25 Pro 5G. Kaya naman kung pagtatabihin nyo itong dalawang smartphones na to, you'll distinguish immediately kung ano yung phone na tinutukoy ko. It also comes in two colorways, in diamond black, and what I have right now in sunrise gold. Okay, so going back sa topic ng video natin, which is the Vivo V25 Pro. Honestly, I really like the look and the feel of it. I know, uso naman talaga ngayon yung mga squared off design ng mga mid-range devices natin, which is similar to the iPhones. But then, there's something about smartphones talaga na may curved back finish that makes it comfortable to hold. Isa pa, it feels very sturdy and pretty much has zero flex on it. So yes, on-hand feel, guys, it is very comfortable. Nakadagdag pa dito yung 8.62mm thickness niya. So yes, it really is less bulky compared to other mid-range devices. In terms of weight, nag-increase lang naman ng konti, probably because of a larger battery capacity na meron tayo dito. Meron din itong Fluorite EG Matte, which shines with a rich finish that changes colors at different angles. So indeed, it really looks and feels premium. Isa pa sa mga curious sa material na ginamit dito sa Vivo V25 Pro, parehas lang po doon sa kanilang X80 series. At saka pansin ko guys, parang naging trademark na ng Vivo yung pagkakaroon ng color-changing back panel simula nung nilagay nila to sa kanilang Vivo V23. Pag naririnig ko tong ganito, Vivo talaga agad yung naiisip ko. So from a light blue color to a darker shade of blue or rich blue after being exposed to sunlight or UV light. The paint darkens in tone when it reacts to UV light. Isa pa, huwag kayong mag-alala in case man na gamitin nyo yung clear jelly case that comes inside the box. Yes, magko-color change pa rin po yung kanyang back panel. Unless na lang, of course, hindi clear jelly case yung gagamitin nyo sa kanya in the long run. Now, when it comes sa kanyang buttons, ito yung standard control layout na nakikita natin sa iba pang smartphones. Both the volume rocker and the power button is located on the right. May nakalagay na text na professional photography sa pinakaibabaw niya. Katabi yung kanyang secondary mic. And sa ilalim, nandito naman ang kanyang SIM tray, another mic, USB-C port, and yung kanyang speaker grill. Now, it's time to talk about the camera performance of the Vivo V25 Pro. Alam nyo guys, bukod sa X series na talaga namang inaabangan ko every time that they release it every year, inaabangan ko rin naman yung kanilang V series, lalong-lalo na yung Pro nga, ito, dahil ito yung mas flagship talaga doon sa tatlo. The main camera is a 64 megapixels na mayroong f1.9 aperture. Meron itong PDAF and also comes with OIS. We also got an 8 megapixels ultra-wide camera. And lastly, it also comes with a 2 megapixels dedicated macro camera. And over in front, we got a 32 megapixels for selfies. It is also equipped with autofocus. Opening the camera application, guys, yung kanyang UI is very straightforward. The zoom selector gives you direct access to each of the 3 cameras. The ultra-wide 1 times and 2 times. On the rightmost part of it, we can access naman different filters like grapefruit, night breeze, macaroons, silent, and many more. Now, if you will swipe from the left, you can see here guys yung ating portrait mode. Sa portrait mode, we can shoot rear super night portraits. Itong feature na to guys has solved problems when it comes to exposure of dark faces and overexposed backgrounds. Now, going sa dedicated night mode natin, ito pwede natin itong gamitin sa tatlong modes niya, ultra-wide, 1 times and 2 times, and meron din itong different styles katulad ng cyberpunk, dreamy spotlight, textured, and many more. Bukod pa dito, we can also now shoot panorama and night mode. Now, I did mention earlier na yung front camera natin sa Vivo V25 Pro has an autofocus. Mas improve yung face clarity and image quality natin sa selfies natin ngayon. This is probably because of its eye autofocus. Isa pa, kung mapapansin nyo doon sa ating camera menu, when taking selfies, meron tayong tinatawag na HD portrait. When this is turned on, kung mapapansin nyo, mas enhance yung details natin and medyo pansin ko mas mataas din yung contrast when taking selfies. We all know that the 64 megapixels main camera captures 16 megapixels by default. In fairness naman, detailed pa rin tignan yung mga photos natin overall. Maganda pa rin ang ating dynamic range. And medyo aggressive sometimes yung ating sharpening. But again, it is still within a reason, so for me, acceptable pa rin naman most of the photos I took. Now, if you want a more detailed shot, pwedeng-pwede nyong i-turn on yung 64 megapixels mode na nasa more menu natin. Nasa separate camera mode siya, kaya naman I always suggest na ilabas natin ito para mas nagagamit natin siya. Kahit na mas mataas itong megapixels na to, pansin ko mas relaxed at mas natural din yung ating mga photos. Now, surprisingly, yung 8 megapixels ultra-wide natin, maganda at na-appreciate ko naman most of it. Detail is still there. And in fairness, na-maintain niya yung kulay niya most of the time. Yun nga lang, medyo soft lang when it comes to the corners, pero for me, hindi siya masyadong major issue. Honestly, when it comes to selfies, natuwa ako kasi hindi ko naging issue yung ating detail. Probably because of the included autofocus nga, and it gets most of the shots done right. Katulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, yung main camera ng Vivo V25 Pro has an OIS. On top of that, meron din itong EIS for video recording. The main camera also captures excellent 4K videos. Quality overall, wala naman talaga akong masabi. Anyway, yung ultra-wide camera naman natin only gets 1 level of stabilization and limited to 1080p. So far, so good guys. For me, yung video capability ng Vivo V25 Pro is probably one of the best talaga that I've seen so far for a smartphone below 30,000 pesos. And for me, it works just well, mapa video man or photos. So yeah, I know yung focus ng video natin is really the camera, pero let's quickly talk about yung iba pa niyang, of course, specifications para naman din hindi kayo masyadong mabitan sa video natin. And of course, para rin makapag-decide kayo at the end of this video if you should get the Vivo V25 Pro. For the display, it has a 6.56 inches with Full HD Plus and a 120Hz refresh rate. It also has HDR10 Plus certification and a punch hole camera. So yes, tama yung narinig nyo, it has a 120Hz refresh rate. So comparing it to its predecessor na meron lamang 90Hz before, this is a huge step. Pangalawa, let's take note, yung punch hole niya. Some of you guys really are not a fan of a dewdrop notch since we all know it's not a 2022 look anymore. In fairness naman, in terms of color accuracy and brightness, talagang nag-improve na pansin ko yung smartphone na ito. Kung pupunta tayo sa settings, meron siyang tatlong color modes. We got standard, professional, and bright. Isa pa, when it comes to refresh rate, it also has a dedicated smart switch option, which is more appropriate to use kung gusto nyo mas matipid yung inyong power consumption. Scrolling through the user interface of the Vivo V25 Pro works just fine. In all honesty, I like using the auto refresh rate, pero I prefer using yung 120Hz mismo since I'm also at home most of the time and hindi ako masyadong nagtitipid sa battery. The Vivo V25 Pro is not running on the latest and best chipset that is out there. Nevertheless, guys, for me, performance-wise, napakaganda ng naibigay sa akin ng smartphone na to. It runs on the MediaTek Dimensity 1300 5G chipset and has a 12GB of RAM plus 8GB extended RAM. Which is, if we were to add it, guys, it totals up to 20GB of RAM. Honestly, chipset-wise and RAM, sobra-sobra pa ito when it comes to day-to-day tasks like watching videos, posting on social media, and playing games. Wala rin naman kaming na-experience so far sa pag-slow down ng kanyang user interface. It's definitely not a gaming powerhouse or a dedicated smartphone for gaming. But then again, at the end of the day, for me, the phone is perfectly capable of playing even Genshin Impact. There are also a few games na pwede nating laruin sa kanya to make use of the high refresh rate and push past 60 FPS. Familiar pa rin yung look ng ating notification center. And yung always on display settings naman natin, guys, still gets plenty of options when it comes to animations, clock styles, colors, and backgrounds. In fairness, meron din siyang a few customizable gestures and actions or additional features na wala sa atin before, na kung saan you can wave in front of the screen during an incoming call to answer hands-free. Mas advanced na rin yung kanyang security system dahil sa kanyang app pinning feature. It allows you to keep the current application in view until you unpin it. So kung halimbawa yung application nyo ay nakapin, no actions are allowed on that application's screen. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin yung battery life that I experienced sa Vivo V25 Pro. I did mention kanina na tumaas nga yung ating battery capacity. Also, medyo na-weirdan lang ako kasi syempre may butal, ano? It's 4,830 mAh. They could have closed it to 5,000. So yes, for me, it is a pretty odd number. But nevertheless, it offers a solid battery life naman. It performed well both off-screen and on-screen testing. And in fairness, compared to other smartphones equipped with almost the same chipset, hindi ako na-disappoint dito sa Vivo V25 Pro. Now, when it comes to the charging speed of the Vivo V25 Pro, it is capable to be fully charged using the 66 watts Vivo Flash charger. For me, 66 watts is not bad for as long as hindi maliit yung battery capacity niya. We were able to charge it up to 40% in 15 minutes and up to 71% in 30 minutes. So yes, it only took over an hour para ma-fully charge natin itong Vivo V25 Pro. Anyway, if I were to give you my pros and cons, honestly, my only problem lang naman with the Vivo V25 Pro is of course yung kanyang single speaker setup. May kalakasan naman yung kanyang audio quality, but again guys, it's not what I expected for a smartphone priced at this point. Pangalawa, it lacks an SD card slot. Now, when it comes to the things that I really like about the Vivo V25 Pro is first, it really is very thin and light and very modern yung kanyang design. Pangalawa, Still, the color-changing back panel is pretty unique and I think Vivo does it best. Third, 120Hz plus HDR10 Plus is really a nice combo. Napakaganda ng display experience ko dito sa device na to. Last but not the least, very solid ang all-around camera performance ng Vivo V25 Pro. Mapa-rear camera man yan or front camera guys, talaga namang nagustuhan ko sila. It is a well-rounded device and is perfect for buyers who have cameras as their top priority. And yes, I can say na yun naman talaga yung top selling point ng smartphone na to. So yeah, that's basically it. Sorry, medyo natagalan din itong video natin na ito, pero I really did my best guys na mas magustuhan nyo siya at syempre mas pinaganda ko rin yung video output natin. Again, it's your tech girl Mary and see you on our next video. Bye guys!